A sanitation worker accidentally dirted a man's shoes while he was eating. The man, furious, angrily threw his newly bought lottery ticket at him. The sanitation worker picked up the ticket and checked it. To his amazement, it had won a jackpot of 1 billion. He rushed to the lottery shop to claim his prize. Seeing him, the shop owner assumed he might have won a small amount. But the moment he scanned the ticket, he gasped and shouted, it was indeed a $1 billion prize. Instantly, the man snatched the ticket back, thinking now he could finally buy a house for his son. He hurried off to meet his son, bringing some local goods and fresh farm eggs along with him. When he arrived, his daughter-in-law opened the door. Seeing him dressed poorly, she assumed he was just some beggar or trash collector. Before he could explain, she rudely overturned the box of eggs and called him a dirty rural sanitation worker. At that moment, his son came to the door. But even after recognizing his father, he refused to let him in, scolding him instead. The father had only come to share the wonderful news that he had won the jackpot. But the son, thinking he was just causing trouble, shouted at him and slammed the door shut. Neither the son nor the daughter-in-law realized that the old man had brought a sack full of cash for them. As the son went inside, his wife slapped him angrily and said, "Aren't you ashamed of bringing your father here when we still have to borrow money to buy a house?" Meanwhile, standing outside, the father heard everything clearly. Heartbroken, he left and went straight to the apartment complex his daughter-in-law had mentioned earlier. Without a word, he bought the most expensive villa there for 100 million, paying the full amount upfront. Seeing this, the manager, who had initially looked down on him, immediately brightened up, arranging for the property papers without delay. At the same time, the son and daughter-in-law arrived at the same complex to view some properties. As soon as they entered, a colleague informed them that villa number 1 had just been purchased by a very big client who had paid in full, and warned them not to offend this client at any cost. At that moment, the father saw his son and eagerly stepped forward to tell him that he had bought villa number 1. But the daughter-in-law, terrified that this dirty old man might offend the rich client, quickly snapped at him and told him to leave immediately, not realizing that the man they were trying to chase away was the new owner of the grand villa. When the father said he had come to collect the property deed and that the manager was already preparing the papers for him in the office, the daughter-in-law's father mocked him, laughing that a sanitation worker couldn't even afford a single brick there. He added that today a major client was finalizing a big deal, and if they caused any disturbance, it would lead to serious trouble. They had no idea that the big client was none other than the father himself. The daughter-in-law then started yelling at her husband, demanding that he throw the old man out immediately. The father calmly told his son that he had bought villa number 1 for him, but nobody believed him. When the father refused to leave, the daughter-in-law pressured her husband even more, threatening that if his father offended the important client, she would divorce him. Hearing all this, the father realized that his daughter-in-law was not a good woman at all. He told his son to divorce her, reassuring him that now he had money and many beautiful girls would want to marry him. But the son thought it was all nonsense. In anger, he slapped his father hard across the face. Meanwhile, they were unaware that the manager had already completed all the paperwork and the deed was ready. Yet the son continued insulting his father, accusing him of never giving him a good life and calling him names. The father, deeply hurt, decided to break ties with his son right then and there. Just as he was about to leave, the daughter-in-law grabbed his hand to stop him and started shouting at him for dirtying the floor. She even ordered him to get down and clean it himself. Shockingly, the son didn't defend his father. Instead, their guards kicked him down onto his knees. At that very moment, the manager arrived.